Now it's time to get real with Nady. Nady, what got you started on the journey of renovations to the creation of wealth?
When I first started working in a job, we had extra money where to park it, so we kind of got into negatively geared property, had no education around how to run a business or property investing at all. So we got into a little bit of trouble just trying to hold these things later on in life when we had kids and things. I was a scientist and my husband was a scientist as well, so it's quite hard for two people to run this career and run a family. I knew what I was good at. I was good at science, but I didn't know I could be good at property. So it was like, oh, we'll do one thing and maybe next year. But then work got harder and harder till at some point I said, okay, I'm going to give this a year. Let's see how we go. Landed my first project with a friend. I still worked a little bit part-time while I was doing that because that was the kind of the backup plan, you know. But the first project was so wonderful and the experience so much better than working. I haven't looked back.
So were you scared when you started?
I wouldn't say scared. I'm quite risk averse. So I have exit strategies A to Z sort of lined up. So I'm scared going into a project, but then I think about it, I step back a bit and I think, okay, if this happens, what am I going to do if this happens? And then I get okay with my worst case scenario, and after that I don't look back.
Well, the worst case scenario for her was just going back to the husband, right? The husband was supportive, and that was important, I think, right?
Yes, very important.
Having a partner who was supportive, who was willing to go with you on this journey was very critical.
Yeah. And for us, we decided we'll live on one income. So he would bring in the paycheck and we would live on that. So I think for a lot of couples, that would be quite hard to do because there's a lot of shiny things out there, right? So to say, okay, we'll have those later, but for now we'll work hard to get there. So even our kids are like, oh, when is this delayed gratification thing's going to end? Yeah, so we treat ourselves a little bit on the way, and I think the family is quite appreciative of that now.
What was your first project?
So I had a few buy and hold stuff, but first real project getting into this was we bought a half-built house. Oh, wow. It's been through 2 builders, and the third builder was about to walk away. And the man has spent 3 times how much he should have spent finishing this project. My friend found it. I was a JV partner with her, and we finished it. It was pretty much like 80,000 spent on doing the bathrooms, floors, painting, the garden and things. I've always been a big learner, so my thing was I want to be able to do this by myself at some point in time. I'm going to shadow you and learn. So we finished that and we made a profit of 60K, which we split between us.
So tell me about the best project that you've ever done.
So the best project I did was a bit of a hoarder house unit that I bought in Mount Barker. So I've done probably 5 projects with JV partners before, but I accumulated enough cash, and my dad funds my projects as well, that we were able to purchase this cash, really cheap start price. That's what I loved about it as well, that we bought it for like 260,000. I spent 45,000 on it. And I made 122K in profit, just doing a little unit renovation.
Was that long ago?
I sold that in October last year.
So, okay, there are people I talk to again who just go, you can't find anything under 600. It's a pointless thing. No, you can get into the more regional towns and start to play the game there. Brilliant, 260,000. Okay, so how did that play out?
That played out well. It took a little bit longer than I anticipated because right through the middle of it, I landed a bigger deal off market that I actually wanted to take a bit of time to do the due diligence on. So I parked that project, which turned out to be good because I learned to delegate a lot of stuff to my tradies as well. So while I was doing the due diligence at home, they were doing all the work. That project really had some nice energy in it. I did that to get some money to renovate my own house. So I said, if I make 25K, I'm happy. So I was ready to do, I actually painted the whole thing myself with the help of my friend. I sanded the floors. I'll never do that again. I staged it myself and I sold it myself as well because I couldn't find good enough agents in the area. The person who sold it to me was like a terrible agent. And it was a bit out of the way. I didn't know local agents. I was quite proud of that. I showed myself that I could do everything if I wanted to, but I don't want to anymore. It was a huge profit as well, but more
experience.
It was an experience, and it was really ugly. And then to just create something beautiful, it was bought by a first home buyer who's been looking for 2 years to buy in Adelaide, and they were just ecstatic to get this house. So.
Yeah, and so besides just the profit, of course, that's always nice. The experience gain, it makes you feel now you can do anything you wanted. But the most important, you have allowed a first home buyer to get a home that they desired.
Yeah.
The thing that gets me for the journey that you're on is the lift in belief. I could hear it in your voice as you were speaking, the evolution of, I'll try it, I might be okay at this, I'll get some help along the way too. I could do everything. I can choose not to. The elevation of belief that I can do this too and I'm on my way. I applaud you. Congratulations.
Thank
It's
you.
brilliant.
Well done.
For people who might be watching this, or for people who come up to you in your networking meetings, what do you say to them when they say, I've got no experience, I want to do what you do, or I want to be as successful as you are. Tell me, where do I get started? Give me some words.
Property is quite forgiving. There are many exit strategies, but you don't want to start with a big mistake because that will set you back, or you might not explore that anymore. Getting the right education is very important, and then surrounding yourself with people who are doing this every day. So I used to have a few friends who did renovations. I would go to their projects to see how this is coming along, to learn, and then I meet their tradies on site. And it was mostly through the getting educated part is the most important thing, I think.
Getting educated. So if someone was to come up to you, based on what Nady was saying, what pearls could you offer?
Well, so yes, get educated, but then secondly, you have to find that why, right? The big why that will make you take action on what you've just educated yourself on. And to get that practical experience requires you to take that first very big and sometimes very difficult step. But once you've started that first step, then you learn like what Nady has.
Yeah. You hesitated, procrastinated for a while. I could, but this is more comfortable. My job's more comfortable. That's a bit risky, a little unknown. I'll do it next year. Yeah. Procrastination is a killer.
And the other thing is, it's hard, right? Stepping out of your comfort zone, going into this. So if you don't have a good enough motivation, it's not going to drive you to get out of bed every day and go to the reno site or go meet a town planner. Just keep going at this because you need to do those things to get there. Yeah. So you need a big why for that.
On the fast track to financial freedom, we need to go through a lot of hurdles and a lot of personal journey. And the first one is, why are you wanting to do this? What is the win or the gain that you're hoping to achieve from having achieved financial freedom? The journey then begins. Start small. Build on what you learn. Then take on slightly larger projects, take on slightly more complex projects, and work your way up. When getting started, and the smaller projects that you want to take on, renos, cosmetic renos, buy ugly, make pretty, and sell, is one of the key strategic approaches to getting you off the ground. It's simple and the risks are relatively low. You can stuff it up, but by all means, with the right people around you, with the right due diligence and the lessons learned before you buy the project, there's every chance of a great success. Next week, when we come back, we're going to get into more complex strategies of subdivisions leading into developments. See you next week.